action, recoil operated, magazine fed engine. What's up everybody, this is the Mad Swede. Today I want to talk a little bit more about the model 1911. More specifically, how to remove the firing pin spring, and the extractor from the slide. I have everything set up over here on my workbench behind me, so let's get started. Right, I have now field stripped my 1911 for daily maintenance. I am now going to remove the firing pin spring and the extractor. And they are located in the slide, in the main housing right here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the slide, put it down on a workbench with the back of the slide pointing upwards. And as you can see, this little metallic piece right here in the center, this is actually the top of the firing pin. So what happens is when you pull the trigger, your hammer falls, the hammer hits the back of the firing pin goes forward, hits the primer ignites, the load, and the shot breaks, the round goes out. Your weapon has discharged. In here also you have the firing pin spring, and it sits on tension right now. It's spring loaded, so it can hold the firing pin back plate in place, so it won't loosen up or fall off, if you will. So it's all under great spring tension right now. So we want to find a tool of some sort, maybe a screwdriver or a sharp object, or a pointy object, should I say. You don't want to go with a knife or anything like it. You want to go with something pointy, so we can push the firing pin down in order to release the tension, so we can remove the firing pin backplate. So again, we're gonna take the slide, put it on the bench with the rear of the slide pointing up. So let me see, you know what, let me go like this. I found something. So we're gonna start by depressing. We're gonna push the firing pin down into the hole. At the same time, we're pushing the firing pin backplate backwards. And for the love of God, please hold a hand or something over the rear while you're doing this, because if you don't, I guarantee you, once you remove the backplate, your firing pin and your firing pin spring will come shooting out, and it may hit you in the eye, or you may lose your firing pin. It may roll away somewhere where you never find it, and that's no bueno. It's a cabron move, if you will. So please be aware, there is spring tension in here right now. So we're gonna go and slowly and carefully remove the back plate. I'm gonna go like this. At the same time, I'm pushing the back plate backwards, and you're gonna hear a click here in a second. That's when everything loosens up. When the back plate is completely removed, the firing pin will come up or come out. Observe. There it is. We're gonna grab the back plate. This is the back plate I was talking about. We're gonna get rid of that one and just very carefully release the tension. And as you can see, here is the firing pin and firing pin spring. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this straight up. Like this. Actually put it right over there. There is one more piece left in here, and that is the extractor. And usually, this is the extractor right here. Let me pull the knife out again. Let me see, where is that good? There. Here is the extractor, right here. And this one usually comes right out. So let's see. Moment of truth. Well, I guess I don't have long enough nail. My nails aren't long enough. So I'm gonna have to find the tool again. Actually, I'm gonna use a flat screwdriver and be very gentle with this right now. All you have to do is stick your screwdriver right in a, you see a little socket right in there, and just bend slightly upwards. It does not take much force to get it out. Be very gentle with it, because you don't want to bend the extractor. Here we go. See that? And all we need to do is pull this sucker out. That's the extractor. So now we're gonna put the slide away, and you want to make sure that I don't do this every time. I usually do this once a month. I remove the firing pin spring, and the extractor, just to make sure they're clean. Because what happens is, let me go like this. On the extractor, you don't want this area to clog up with a residue, gunpowder residue. Because what happens is, let me see, I'm gonna go like this. Take a round out of my magazine. Potent 45 slug. So what happens is, when you break the shot, your extractor will come forward. When the slide goes forward, it will actually grab this little socket on the spent shell casing. This thing right here will grab it like this and expand the shell casing. Your spent shell casing will throw it out of the port. So if this area is dirty, it will simply not be able to grab your shell casing, and therefore you're gonna end up with a feeding problem, also known as a jam. So we want to make sure this area is clean. And let me see. Oh dear. Yep. I should have done this a long time ago. Shame on me. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is no bueno. I'm way overdue for a cleaning, so just gonna put it away for now. You want to make sure everything is super clean on the extractor. Also, what you want to look for is if this piece is somehow, it looks bent, that's not a good thing. So if it looks bent, I suggest you contact a gunsmith or someone else with knowledge. They will most likely recommend you to buy a new extractor. This needs to be 100% straight, otherwise your weapon will malfunction. Put that away. We're gonna wipe off the firing pin. It's usually just oily, so we're just gonna wipe off the excess oil. Same thing with the firing pin backplate. Just wipe it dry, and in the socket right here, usually you'll find a big buildup of oil right in here. So we just want to go ahead and wipe this area dry as well. You don't want it to sweat too much. In the socket right here, where in the firing pin house, you can actually see right through right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick a little Q-tip in, because they fit perfect in the hole. and just try to wipe everything clean. And as you can see, it's dirty, all right. Like this. So I'm gonna go away for a bit. I wanna clean my parts, and as soon as I'm done, I'll be right back. See you later. Okay, I'm back. I have to apologize. I find this extremely embarrassing. I did not expect my extractor and my firing pin to be this dirty. No excuses. I brought it on myself. I've been lazy. A cabron move, to say the least. So I do apologize. Anyways, we're gonna put everything back together now. We're gonna put the extractor, firing pin, firing pin spring, and the back plate back in the slide. And we're gonna do that by reverse engineering. So do you remember the last piece I pulled out? What was it? It was the extractor. So we're gonna start this time. We're gonna start by inserting the extractor. And if you can see in the socket how it's like not completely round, it's not circular. This area right here is actually straight. You'll find a matching shape of the extractor, so we're just gonna have to match it in. It can only fit one way, so we're just gonna go ahead, put our slide like this on the table like we did before, and just drop it back in like this. There we go. And gently, a gentle little nod right there. See how it went right in? Fits like a glove. Firing pin spring. We're gonna drop it in the back in the hole where we took it out from. Right in there. Gonna go like this. See? Now, here is the tricky part. You're gonna want to find your tool again. This time I do recommend you to find a flat screwdriver in order to completely press the firing pin down in the hole so you can fit your firing pin back plate to snap everything in place. This one also, it can only fit one way. It's pretty simple. This one has like you see the edge right here, it looks it's a sloped edge. This one is always, you want this to be pointing downwards from your slide. This is the top of your slide where you have the sights, and this is the bottom of the slide where you can see inside of it. So you want this sloped part to point downwards. Pretty simple. So we're gonna find our flat-headed screwdriver, and we're gonna press this thing, the firing pin, back in the hole, completely down, and at the same time, be very careful right now. You don't want to jiggle too much, because if you do, you might lose the traction of your screwdriver, and you will simply drop it. The firing pin shoots right back out. You don't want to do that, so be very steady and very gentle with it. And at the same time, you want to take your back plate. Remember the slope part pointing downwards, and you see two corresponding sockets. You want to fit it in there. And at the same time as you're pulling out the screwdriver, you want to push your back plate into position. You're going to hear a clicking sound here in a minute. There. Everything is now back in place. I'm going to put this thing back together now. Again, reverse engineering. There you have it, the model 1911, the removal of firing pin spring, and extractor. Again, I do apologize for presenting such a dirty weapon, and I am extremely embarrassed right now. At least it gave me a good reason to clean her up real good. She is sparkling right now. The 1911, it's an extremely old pistol. Over 100 years old, like I mentioned before. It's a different lady, if you will, compared to the more modern polymer pistols. She requires more attention, more detail, and more understanding. But once you get to know this gal, there is no other pistol in the world I would walk into a fight with. It's extremely reliable, and it's by far my preferred home defense weapon. Even though my Glock is my preferred carry pistol, I keep this at close hand in the house, just in case. It's a perfect fire extinguisher, if you will. She has never failed me, not once. And for such an old lady, it's pretty impressive. So, but that's just me though. I don't want to sound too biased. I'm gonna leave that all up to you. Me personally, I am a big 1911 fan. That's just me. I'm gonna leave the rest up to you. So again, there you go, 1911. This is the Mad Swede. Be safe, be nice, and I see you at the range.